Okay, so I just read the most interesting article I've seen all week, and that is that there is a company called Edelkrone who creates camera gear that is now offering 3D printed products for purchase. If you order the template online, you go to a 3D printing shop, you print all the parts and put it together at home, kind of like Lego, right? So I figured, you know what? This sounds interesting. I would like to print camera gear at home. Let's give it a try. Now, the first step in this whole adventure is going to be finding somewhere I can actually print this piece, maybe at a local library or if there's a place near me. So I'm just going to go in here into Google.
Thank you for calling OC Public Library. If you know the party's extension, you may dial it at any time.
I do not.
Children.
Hello?
While I transfer your call.
Oh, silly me.
University Park, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm phoning because I'm wondering if you have 3D printers at the library that people can come and use?
No, sir, we don't have that here.
Okay. Do you have anywhere that you would know of that might?
I don't think we have, the Orange County Library has 3D printers. I don't think any library has that.
Okay. I'll continue my quest. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Let's try somewhere outside of Orange County, maybe Newport Beach.
Hello, you have reached the City of Newport Beach Central Library Reference Desk. Unfortunately, all of our lines are busy and we aren't able to assist you at this time.
On a Thursday?
If you will, please
What,
call back
30?
shortly.
3D printing. Irvine. We got, okay, purple porcupine. That sounds great. The porcupine, the most noble of creatures. We're just going to go to their website, write them a little mail message, as opposed to a non-mail message, and we will put that in there and just see what happens.
So that very same day, I actually heard back from Matthew at Purple Porcupine, and he said, absolutely, Ryan, we would be super interested in working with you on this. So all I had to do was order those parts off the Edelkrone website, and then we'll put it all together.
Alright, so the big day has come. I waited the weekend, I shaved my beard, and I gave you what you were looking for, and that is me with a mustache going to pick up a 3D printed part. So, if you were wondering, what does this gentleman look like if he's sporting a fine mustache? Well, now you know. So we are driving to Purple Porcupine, and they are going to print this part for me. I am going to pick it up, and we'll put it all together at home. Let's give it a try. I have the part, I'm driving home, I'm ready to give it a try, and I am so excited. Honestly, you don't know how cool 3D printing is until you walk into a 3D printer and you actually see it in action as the piece is just materializing out of nothing. It's unbelievable. It's like being in Tony Stark's laboratory.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
So when it comes to 3D printing, you should get really excited because when it comes to camera gear, can you imagine just being able to go online, you look at that Edelkrone slider you want, and you say, I want to buy this. So you download the file, you send it to your printer, and 2 hours later you go and pick it up. Like, how cool would that be? Now, the guys at Purple Porcupine have decided to hook you up. If you want to try this for yourself, they're going to give you like a 40% discount off of your own parts. So I'm going to put the information in the comments below, and you can print it in whatever color you like. And it's just really cool because it's 3D printing. And for 10 bucks more, they are willing to put your name in your own Purple Porcupine 3D printed camera gear. All right, so make sure to check out the comments if you want to give that a try. Now we need to make a very quick pit stop.
All right, let's do this thing. So as you can see, the whole package comes in a nice little box from Edelkrone. Everything is organized and looks very fancy. I spread it out on the table and got to work on the instructional page, which was, I'll be honest, a little hard to follow. If you're better at Lego than me, maybe it'll be easier for you, but this took a long time of just trying to figure out which pieces went together and which pieces the diagram was referring to was a little confusing, but I did find that certain pieces really just did not want to fit the way they needed to. So you'll see that I actually had to hammer some of these pieces in just to get them to fit right because they weren't seated properly, and it's really important that you have all the pieces tight and nice as they're supposed to be. Now here's the final product after I had finally tightened it up. That's the real key, is you need to go through and tighten it not too tight but not too loose so that the tension will naturally hold your camera up. And here we have the finished product. Now the big question you're probably asking is, how well does this actually work? And my answer to that is, it works all right. It's still plastic, and that's where it becomes obvious, is when you actually have your camera on it, you can see that it's not even standing perfectly straight up because the plastic pieces tend to bend and wobble a little bit as you're using it. Also, getting the tension to work properly was very hard. I found that my camera, if the tension was too loose, would just fall back down, and if it was too tight, it was almost impossible to adjust, and every time I did, I felt like I might actually break the thing. You also have to watch out for this. So am I happy with this build? My answer would be yes, with a few buts. And that's because 3D printing does have its limitations, and I realized that once I put this whole thing together and started testing it. As I showed you in the video, when this thing is not under the right amount of tension, it will tend to just move and not hold its position properly. However, if you tighten it up enough that it's not going to have that issue, you find that it becomes very hard to properly adjust. And so it's kind of hard because the plastic is actually flexing as you're making these adjustments, and that's where you really notice that plastic versus metal, the metal simply does better. However, this tool is still super helpful. If I want to just set it on a tripod permanently and get those bird's eye view shots for the occasional product review or demonstration, I can do that. I'll just tighten this up, I don't have to worry about it moving, and life is good. So would I recommend doing this yourself? Absolutely. If you have access to a 3D printer, it's really fun, really interesting, and definitely cool to see where camera gear might be going in the future. Is it worth paying $100 to 3D print and then put it together and pay another $30 for the pieces? That's where I'd probably recommend getting the actual all-metal design, because it's simply going to work more consistently for you. You're not going to be finicking with this plastic, and long-term, I don't know how durable this is going to be yet. It might be no issues, it might kind of have issues after it's been used a certain amount of time because it's plastic, right? So overall, happy with this build. I hope that this was helpful for you in deciding whether you want to 3D print your own camera gear. Give this a try. Definitely a huge thanks to Purple Platypus. Those guys are absolutely incredible when it comes to providing information on getting the best possible build quality using certain plastic composites versus others. They had all sorts of insight for me that I'm sure I would have messed something up if I hadn't had their help. And if you want to print your own through them, they are going to give you a special discount. Make sure to check the description for the info on that. You can print it in whatever color you want. That is the advantage of 3D printing, and they will even engrave your name on your gear, which is pretty cool. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more great content, tutorials, resources, all sorts of cool stuff, and I will see you in the next video.